Yeah, and I had another client, and she was an air hostess. She didn't smoke, and she was coming back from the airport, driving back, and she used to buy cigarettes for all her friends, duty free. So when she was doing a flight, she would get a load of cigarettes for her friends. And she had a crash in her car, and she was knocked unconscious, and she was sitting on the side of the road, and someone saw these cigarettes in her car, thought they must be her cigarettes. So they offered them a cigarette, and she started smoking. She didn't know that she didn't smoke because she had complete amnesia. This bump on the head had given her amnesia. And so she started smoking because she didn't know that she didn't smoke. And she said the worst thing was when her husband and a little boy came to the hospital, she didn't know them. And she had to go home with what she considered to be a stranger and this kid that she didn't know. So you kind of imagine what that feels like, can you? But that's when she started smoking. So there were two cases where people started in their 20s. One was when the sister in the hospital gave her one when she was in labour. And the other was this woman who had amnesia, probably the opposite to what you're talking about, Becky. And just that's what I want for my clients. I mean, we're talking about smoking here, but I want my clients to go out and forget about it. Not have some kind of epiphany. It's just 3 days later, they realise they're not smoking. Mm-hmm. And that's what I aim at. And there are ways of giving people amnesia. So,
rather than remembering to do it, as you say, just forget about doing it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the best for people who bite their fingernails or smoke cigarettes or smoke weed or whatever it might be, to create a bit of amnesia, give them that space, and it's not hard to do in hypnosis. And so I tend to do that. Same with fear and anxiety. I don't know, it'll be an hour from now or a week from now or 30 years from now when you suddenly realise you're thinking about something else entirely. And it gives them that space. And that's one of the ways I work. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So good luck with that, Marie. I know you're going to do great work in the hospital, and you help one person out of smoking, you help their family, you help generations in the future. So well done. Well, I think everyone's here. Thanks for everyone in, Doreen. I think.
And Nolene has raised her hand. I'm not.
I know, Nolene.
Sure.
Good morning.
Morning. Good evening.
This week I've had a heap of stop smoking clients.
Right. And
what I'm finding is that they smoke a lot of cigarettes before they come in, and it's really affecting me, and I'm having these coughing fits.
Oh yeah.
So I've decided I'm going to have to ask people not to smoke for an hour before they come.
Well, that's true. I mean, I had a couple come to see me for quitting smoking, and they were smoking like 40, 50 cigarettes a day each. Yeah. And they weren't smoking in my office, but the smell on their clothes was making me gag. They had no idea how badly their clothes smelled. They were smoking that amount of cigarettes. So I understand that. And I think you have a right to say, and I do it with people who I see for alcohol as well. I want them to turn up sober. I don't want them having a drink an hour before. So that's one of the conditions. And I think it's legitimate to say, look, for an hour before you come to see me, I want you to have your last cigarette at least an hour before. And put it like that. I want you to have your last cigarette at least an hour before you come to see me.
I've never smoked, and my father smoked 75 a day. My mother smoked 55 a day inside the house. So I spent a very sick childhood.
Well, yeah, you would. Yeah, and my wife's, she has been a health visitor, and she'd go into these houses where kids have glue ear. Yeah. And even if the parents aren't smoking in front of the kids, just the stuff on their clothes can give a baby glue ear, and that people don't realise that. So yeah, it's important. But anyway, where I want to this year, and I put it in motion soon, have the biggest quit smoking group ever. My Zoom will take 1,000 people on Zoom. I'd love to get 1,000 people on Zoom to quit smoking in one session. I believe I hold the world record as it is. That was 150 people in 90 minutes in the Euston Plaza Hotel in London. And that was, some years ago. But I'd love to get hundreds of people on one of these Zoom calls. And I'm going to do it this year. It's one of my kind of top goals this year to do that. And and then I'll pass it on to everybody else. And you'll have the video, and you see how I work. But you know, we're getting away from the subject here a little bit, but we'll come back to it in a moment. But the thing about smoking is this: patches, which are $1 billion business, are 3% successful on people quitting full time. Cold turkey is 5%. So you're more chance of quitting if you go cold turkey than you do with patches. And I used to run these groups, as you know, all around the country, where I'd see 200 people at a time in hospital lecture rooms. You know, I was hiring these lecture rooms, Murray, and I'd get 200 people at a time. In 2006, I saw just under 5,000 people in that 1 year for smoking. And I used to guarantee it. So I'd say, if you don't quit, I won't charge you. So I knew the percentage of people who were quitting, it was a very high percentage. And I was using these hospital lecture rooms all around the country, St. Bart's, East Sussex Hospital, all of these big hospitals. And I was doing one in Portsmouth at the Queen, I think it's Queen Charlotte Hospital down there. But anyway, I was at this hospital. I've been doing it for some months, and people were quitting in their halls. And then I booked the lecture theatre. And I got an email from one of the administrators of the hospital, and they said, look, we can't let you use the lecture theatres anymore. So I said, why? And I said, because I've got 70 people booked already for this next one. So she said, you're taking too many people out of the smoking habit. And because of that, we are not getting people through the smoke cessation clinics. And if we don't get people through the clinics, we don't get the funding. And the funding is by Philip Green, the tobacco companies, where they pass on the patches. So we can't let you use it. We're not getting the funding because you're taking too many people out of the smoking habit. I said, well, I'm sure the national papers would love to hear that. So I'll get an email saying you can have it, you can use it this time, but we can't let you use it again. You know, that's absolute truth, hand on heart. That is what they said. You are taking too many people out of the smoking habit, and we're not getting them through the clinic, and we don't get the funding. We don't get them through the clinic. So be aware of that, Marie. No, it's not in the interest of the government to help you quit smoking, not at all. Anyway, let's get off that subject and we get on to tonight's subject. And as I said, Caroline put this to me earlier in the week. So, and again, same for all of you. If you've got an idea for what you want to work on these Friday nights, just email me, text me, or whatever, contact me and let me know. And I don't mind what it is. You know, we can work together, and if I can help you on it, I will. But this week, we're talking about self-healing, body, mind, and spirit. And normally I don't talk about things like this because I'm a pretty black and white kind of person. But we know that physical injury is one thing, mental injury is another thing. You know, we know there's a physical injury, can physically injure our brain, but I'm talking about the mind and our mental health. But on a spiritual level, which is not, as I said, it's not something I very rarely talk about. But I know because I've been thinking about this today. What can injure us at a spiritual level is when we hurt someone we love, whether intentionally or not. When we hurt someone we love, that I believe creates a dis-ease at a spiritual level. And we can heal, can't we? With the medication, we can heal physically. With the right therapy, we can heal kind of mentally. But at that level, that core level, you know, I've been saying about the essence of who we are. That's a different thing. So I want you all, if you are, because I know from my own self, I believe myself, I try and be a good person. I do, whether you know people believe it or not. I try and be a good person. But there are times when I have hurt people I cared about, not intentionally, but for whatever reason. And that's a hard place to heal. So tonight, we're going to work on those three levels, you know, the physical, the mind, and at the spiritual level. So I want you to think of anything that you're carrying with you. And I think when we talk about that injury or that kind of dis-ease at a spiritual level, that's kind of lasts longer than anything else. So if you have been carrying that with you for years or months or weeks or days, then I'd ask you to put it down tonight and let what we're doing tonight heal you at that level. I'm going to run what I call quantum healing. Some of you will know about this if you've been in my groups, if you've been with my training, you've probably heard me say it. And the theory behind quantum healing is that there are trillions of cells in our body. Some say 35 trillion, some say 70 trillion. I don't know who counted it. It must have been a pretty boring task. But they say we've got about 70 trillion cells in our body. And each of those cells exists as an individual cell. And within each of those cells, there's enough information to clone you. We know this because I did it with Dolly the sheep. I've done it with cattle. All that makes you what you are, hair color, eye color, skin color, height, is a unique communication between those trillions of cells that makes you the unique individual on this planet of 7.8 billion people. Now, when those cells are communicating 100% well, then you are 100% well. But often through emotion or environment or genetics, there's a breakdown in that communication. And at that point, we get what we would call a disease or a disease. Now, this is how this story came to me. Whether it's true or whether it's myth, you'll have to make your own mind up about. But this is how this quantum healing came to me. Apparently, there was a man who was working on quantum mathematics and physics, which may be on my kind of pay grade. So he was working on how the universe is put together. What makes my computer plastic and my desk wood, the only difference is how the atoms in that material communicate that makes different materials. So within everything in this universe, there are atoms. So he was working on quantum physics. He also had studied the mind and hypnosis in particular. This is back in like the late 30s, because he was working on splitting the atom. Now, how you can split something you can't see is anyone's guess, but we know they've done it. We know that the world's under threat at the moment because of it. But he was working on splitting the atom. His wife at the time, and bear in mind, whether this is true, whether it's a story or myth, I don't know. His wife at the time had varicose veins. And there was a long waiting list to get these veins kind of repaired or put right. And so he thought, why not apply the same quantum theory as you do to the universe? The universe is made up of atoms. His wife's body is made up of cells. So he hypnotized her and he set up a communication, and he asked her unconscious mind if he could communicate directly with every cell of her being. And he got an unconscious communication, an ideomotor movement, if we like. He then asked those cells to reconnect the communication that would allow his wife's veins to go back to normal. And apparently, as I said, whether it's true or it's myth, I don't know. He had photographic proof that this had happened. So that's how it came to me. And as I say, I never advertised healing because I'm not a healer. In fact, I'm not anything. I read someone the other day, and he's a well-known hypnotist, well-known hypnotherapist. And he put out a post the other day saying, and he was telling about his kind of CV, when I was this, I was a salesperson, I was top of the national salespeople, I was this in this my former life, I'd been this and I've been that. Now I heal people. And this is a very well-known hypnotist. And it kind of rankled with me, really, because I don't believe, as a therapist, I do anything. There's not some fluence coming from me over the internet that's going to change your life. All I do And all we do, if you're a therapist or hypnotherapist, is enable our client to get in touch with their own natural abilities to change, whether it's at a cellular level or whether it's at a habitual level. That's how I see this. I'm not a healer, and I don't do anything. When people come and see me for smoking, I've been smoking for 30 years, and they go out of the room and they no longer need a cigarette. And they don't suffer, they don't have any withdrawal symptoms, they just quit. And people say, well, that's amazing. How incredible are you to help that person do that? I say the truth is, they always could have done it. They just didn't know they could. That's how I see this. They must have already been able to do it, because I've spent an hour or maybe an hour and a half with someone. Their belief changes somewhere in that room. When we work with pain, and some of you have seen it in this group, you've seen it, you've experienced it yourself. You can be in terrible pain, and within 5 or 10 minutes of running my technique, the arrow, you can be completely free of that pain. That's not me giving you pills or potions or me putting my fluence on you. That is you, the person in pain, giving their brain permission to switch it off. They must have already had the ability. That's how I see the work that we do. If you are changing, and I know some of you have, Marie's transformed her body, Nolene's transforming her body. Some of you are now free of your fears and anxieties and the limitations you had before we started doing this work together. You already had the ability. That's my thinking on this. But somewhere along the line, throughout your life, whether as a child, whether as a teenager, maybe 2 weeks ago, whether self-suggested or suggested by someone else, a limitation was placed on you. And because you're probably in an emotional state, that just went straight in as a process or a program. All we're doing really is helping people out of trance that they're in. I see people, as I said, I've seen 25,000 people smoking. And they come in an I can't quit smoking trance. I can't do this. Christina, I've seen you a couple, so I know your name. Are you on one of my courses, or you are?
Yeah, I'm doing the modern hypnotherapy course on Wednesdays.
Can I just show you something? Do you mind if I show you something that everyone can see? Can everyone see Christina on your screens? If you get a gallery view, you should be able to see her. And who are the most important people in your life, Christina?
My family, my parents and my brother.
Okay. I want you to just do this for me. Think about your brother. And think about the love you have for him and he has for you. And as you think about that, Christina, I want you to notice that you're stuck in your chair. And notice you can't get out of your chair. I want you to try and stand up, Christina, and find that you cannot. I do want you to pretend, Christina. Try and get out of your chair. Try and stand up. Find you're stuck in that chair. Try even harder. Find you're completely stuck in that chair. The harder you try and get out of that chair, the more stuck you're going to be. That's right. Put your hands on the side and try and push yourself up. Now your hands are stuck to the chair. Try and put your hands off the chair, Christina. Why can't you get your hands off the chair? Why can't you get out of the chair? Are you hypnotized? Are you in a trance? Why can't you get out of the chair? I'm going to click my fingers, and of course you can stand up, and of course you can get out of the chair. Right, of course you can stand up.
Ooh. Okay.
Would you have said you were hypnotized? No.
Yes, I was.
But what I'm saying to you is, to all intent and purpose, you weren't like this, were you? You were trying to get out of that chair. You were stuck in the chair by nothing more than a belief. And that is what is the same for all of us. When we're stuck in these behaviors, when we're stuck with our limitations, once we recognize that that is just what it is, it's just a belief. And we can decide to believe something else. Imagine if our life, we could change our life that easily, because I absolutely believe we can. This is the way I am. I can't help it. No, it's a belief. Is the way I am serving me? No. Then let's change it. Let's imagine it differently. I want you all to think about this week as you're going along and you think, I can't do this and I can't do that. And see what's going on in your head, because you'll be running a little movie in your head of why you can't do it. And then just change the movie. Change it to the movie that says, I can do it. And see what happens. So this evening, we're going to work at those 3 levels. We're going to run quantum healing. And I'm going to take you into a space where you can actually get in touch with your spiritual self. And some of you might not be, and I'm not a religious person. You've heard me say it 100 times. But we know when our spirit's not good. We're not happy when we're in that situation. And I know because I've experienced it a lot. As I said, I honestly, hand on heart, never set out to hurt anybody. I don't, but I know I have. So those things stick with you. They're like scars. So we're going to get to that level so that maybe even look at it again. And if you have to, and I'm not saying you should, because we're human beings and we make mistakes, but I want you to, if you have to, just forgive yourself. Just do it. Just say, I forgive you. In your own mind, say, I forgive you. And allow yourself the freedom from it. So you can be the best you can be and serve yourself as well as you can serve yourself. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I know, Rosie, you had a terrible injury, didn't you? Were you in an explosion or something?
I was in an explosion. Yes, it really wasn't that bad. I know that sounds daft, but it really wasn't that bad.
Well, I think, I know you were burnt and I know you suffered, so if you're still suffering anyway, just get into this with me tonight and let's.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to this because I've got an autoimmune disease and I think this is going to help my autoimmune disease.
Okay, that's great.
It's a chosen autoimmune disease and I know it is.
Well, we'll let it go.
Yeah, I'm going to. I'm very much looking forward to this. I wish Vicky was here.
Well, yeah, she's great, and see Vicky.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Is everyone on the screen? I think they are. Yeah, I think so. Let's make sure there's no one in the waiting room. Maybe they don't want to. Right. Okay. Right. So, is there any questions about what we're doing this evening? And I want you to, at one level of consciousness, this isn't difficult, what I'm going to be doing this evening. And it's not a lot of words. And in the future, because our bodies change and we do suffer at times physically, emotionally, and just think about what we're doing here tonight and allow yourself to do it for yourself. And you don't have to be a hypnotherapist to help somebody else with these techniques. As I say, I'm not going to give you pills and potions. It's words, it's your imagination. But you now know the power of your imagination. If we focus on what we want, and that's not just positive affirmations, it's about focusing on what we want, getting a sense of what it feels like, and asking the question, how much fun is this? How much fun can we make it? And see what happens, okay? Right, so we just see if there's only 2 screen to make sure everyone's in. Okay, so is everyone happy for me to get started? If you are, just say, I'm ready, Freddie.
Ready, Freddie.
Excellent.
I'm ready, Freddie.
Okay, great.
Ready.
All right, look, get into this with me. Look on this as time out for you. Understand that while we're together, you are all that matters to me, okay? I want you to be happy and I want you to be well. So put everything else out of your minds and just use this time and focus on yourself. And know it's okay to focus on yourself. Most of you here are women. And I know, and Andreas will know, and Chris will know, Darryl will know, that so many women spend so much time making sure that everyone around them is okay, that often they forget about themselves. They forget about their own value and worth in this. So I want you to understand that this is time for you to put everything else out of your mind for a while and just focus on you and know that you're worth doing this for, okay? So if you're ready for this, I want you all just get comfortable. Make sure, as I say, you're not sitting on the edge of the table, balancing a hot cup of coffee on your lap or anything else. Get yourself comfortable and safe. And when you're ready to do this and make these changes and do this self-healing, I want you to just take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, allow your eyes to close. And most of you know how to do this now. I want you to think of those other experiences of hypnosis you've had with me and how it's felt to sit and listen to my voice speaking to you. Remembering the sounds and the words and how it felt as you drifted into that wonderful space. Just for a while, nobody wants anything. No one expects anything. And there is nothing for you to do but to focus on your own well-being. For a moment, think about the people you love, people that love you. For some of you, are therapists or healers in your own right. For a moment, think about all the people you've helped with your love, your kindness, who are living their life in a different way because of you. And just feel into that for a moment. And as you feel that love, let that relax every muscle in your body. Imagine it's happening automatically. Every muscle, nerve and fiber relaxing. Nobody wants anything. No one expects anything. There is nothing for you to do but to listen to my voice. Get a sense of just drifting down through space and time. Just drifting into that space of total bliss. Imagine it's happening automatically. Every word I say just doubles that wonderful feeling. Less and less aware of yourself as a physical being, but totally aware of yourself as a mind and a spirit. That intangible part of a human being that makes us human. The observer, the passenger in that physical body. Get a sense of drifting into that space now. And as you drift in that space, my voice and my words are going to drift with you to become a part of your experience now. Every word I say doubles that feeling, and I want you to enjoy every moment. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you'll go. 10, 20, 100 times deeper. Every word I say doubles that feeling, and everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon. at a molecular, cellular, neurological level, at a spiritual level. Because you have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. And that unconscious mind, the back of the mind, can continue to hear, to understand and respond to those things I might say without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. Letting go even of the effort it takes to make the effort that it might take to tell the exact position of arms, legs, or the entire body now that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful, free floating place of effortless relaxation and letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own ways. You drift as a mind. And that mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. Think of something you'd love to do or a way you'd love to feel. Maybe a physical level, something you want to feel better about or something you want to heal. Get a sense of yourself out there, having achieved it. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Step into that body. Feel into it. Get a sense of what it feels like to have healed that. Whether it's a spiritual pain, a physical pain, an emotional pain, an injury, physically or emotionally. See yourself out there free of that pain. See yourself out there back to full well-being. And step into that body, feel what it feels like. Remembering that time in your life when you were well, when you were without that pain. Get a sense of what it feels like now. Ask the question, how much fun is that? How much fun can you make those changes? How important is it for you? Get a sense of that now. An understanding of your real worth, your real value. To know and feel that unconditional self-love. And know that's your birthright. For a moment, I always had the pleasure of going back, way back, to when you were maybe 3 months old or 2 months old, when all you wanted was love and security. That's all you wanted, that's all you were. The essence of who you are. That baby that's just pure love and pure light. Because that's who you are at your core. Before the world got to you, before people suggested things to you, at the core of your being, you are pure love and pure light. And you are pure intelligence. In every seed, it knows its potential, whether it's going to be a rose or an oak tree or a human being. A natural intelligence that's there with you now. An absolute understanding of your worth and your value. Because you are love. And you are loved. And you are loving. Get a sense of that now. And the unconscious mind can allow those changes to occur. While the conscious mind drifts off someplace else entirely now. That's right. In your own time, in your own way. As you continue to learn even more than before about your own abilities to heal as you relax. As you relax and enter into the trance more and more comfortably, more and more effortlessly, more and more completely and deeply than before. Just for a moment, think about your body. How incredible are you? How incredible is your body? And for some of you, that body has produced other human beings. How incredible is that? Just for a moment, appreciate yourself. Know it's okay to love yourself and show yourself some love. And as you do that, as you go deeper and deeper into hypnosis, my voice, my words are going to drift with you to become a part of your experience now. Get a sense of drifting even deeper. And just when you think you've reached the ultimate space of bliss and profound trance, my voice, my words are going to take you 10 times deeper. Get a sense of that happening. And imagine there's nothing you can do about that. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you'll go. And as you drift even deeper, you can use your unconscious mind, your instinctive, healing mind as a resource, as an inner strength. And so I'd like your unconscious mind to search through everything in your life, whether it's physical healing, emotional healing, or spiritual healing, something that's been left with you maybe over the years at a spiritual level, some hurt, some injury, whether done to yourself or by someone else. Search and find the things that you need to heal right here, right now. And when your unconscious mind, your instinctive, healing mind recognizes what it is you need to heal, I'd like your unconscious mind to take you deeper and deeper into hypnosis. Feel yourself just dropping down into that space. And as you do that, I'd like to speak directly to the part of you that is responsible for your immune system, the part of you that runs that automatic healing ability, that's been doing that from the moment you were conceived, that wonderful part of you that heals. And now I'd like to ask that part of you that's responsible for your immune system to allow me to communicate directly with every cell, every molecule, every atom, every neuron of your body and mind. And I'd like to ask those cells to reconnect the communication that will allow that healing to begin. And I'd like you to do that now. And as you go deeper and deeper into hypnosis, I want you to be aware of those changes in your body. It might feel like a warm glow going through your body or a vibration. Be aware of those changes taking place at a molecular, cellular level. And as those changes take place at a physical level, I'd like you to have the experience, the most incredible experience of freedom, Because in a moment, the essence of who you are, the spirit of who you are, that spark that separates you from everything else on this planet, is going to separate from your body and leave that physical body in that chair, in this physical realm. As you drift away from your body now, the essence of who you are. Get a sense of that now. How incredible are you? And notice that the essence of who you are, the spirit, is ageless. It's infinite. And nothing that happens to that physical body in that chair can touch the essence of who you are. Get a sense of that now. And I'd like the essence of who you are to look at any injuries that you may have had at a spiritual level, whether self-inflicted or inflicted by someone else. Things that you've been carrying with you for years, like a thorn, that you've been ignoring. It's been affecting you. And I'd like the essence of who you are to start that healing now and allow you that freedom right here, right now. And if you feel at some level you need to forgive yourself, do it now. But know that you don't need to forgive yourself. You just have to accept that you are a human being. And as human beings, we are not perfect. I don't know if you know anything about the Navajo Indian. But the Navajo Indian weave these incredible rugs. They're beautiful, wonderful designs, beautiful colors, intricate patterns. And these rugs they're renowned for these rugs throughout the world. They've been weaving these rugs for thousands of years. But within every rug, they leave a knot, an imperfection somewhere. Hardly perceivable, but it's there if you really want to look. And they do it on purpose. They leave this knot, this imperfection, this rug on purpose. And whenever they been asked why they do that, their answer is the same as it's been for thousands of years. They leave that knot in that rug so the gods don't think they're trying to be God themselves. It's okay to be human, because the essence of who you are is pure light and love. Let go of those injuries. Do it now. Put it down. No, it's okay to do that. You don't have to carry it anymore. Put it down now. As you experience those changes taking place in your body at a molecular, cellular level, I'd like to ask those cells to spin up that healing so you can be as well as you can be. Get a sense of that happening now. Imagine it's happening and there's nothing you can do about that. You have within you all the resources you need. And understanding that you are not your body. And whatever you thought you are so much more than that. And no matter what happens to your body, it cannot touch you. You are far, far, far more than your physical being. You are love, and you are light, and you are joy. And you are pure intelligence. Get a sense of that now as you go even deeper into that feeling. And go with your unconscious often as you need to know that you can make those changes. I don't know, will it be an hour from now or a minute from now, 20 years from now, when you suddenly realize that that healing's taking place at a spiritual level. And you can live your life without that pain. And anytime you want to, and you need to do some healing, at whatever level you want to, just repeat the word relax 4 times in your mind. And on the 4th time hearing it, you'll go back into this deep state of hypnosis you're in now. Wherever it's safe and appropriate to do it, you repeat the word relax, find a place, and just ask your unconscious mind to do that healing for you. And get a sense of it happening. That's right. Whatever you thought you were, you are so much more than that. The essence of who you are is pure light, pure love, and pure joy. Everything about you will be inclined toward making it happen for you. Once again, just think about the people you love, people that love you. Friends that you have in this group, friends that you've made through this group. Think about that now. And as you do that, notice those changes taking place in your body. Imagine it's happening and there's nothing you can do about that. Even if at first you have to pretend it was something that was said to you, something that was done to you, you really have no choice. You cannot feel that pain anymore. It's gone. Like the Navajo Indians that leave that knot in that rod because they don't want God to think they're trying to be God themselves. It's okay to be okay. It's okay to do our best. And leave it at that. So as you drift in that space, the thoughts drift by like dreams. Some enter the mind and some drift through the mind. And some are left behind to be used later on. And others are remembered or seem to be remembered at first, but then become more and more distant, forgotten over time. This entire experience may seem so far away, like a dream you had, as the unconscious mind protects the conscious mind and leaves those things behind, forgotten, but remembered too. Time changes too, so you'll know what a trance it's been. And you begin to know that what seemed to be a short time turned out to be a long time. Or what seemed a long time was really no time at all. So I'd like to give you that chance now to go with your unconscious often as you need to know that you're free. Free of the past, free of that pain, free to be. And only when the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes and allows the conscious mind to accept the changes made. Because in a moment, I'm going to count to 10. Every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body and spirit will act upon. On 8, your eyes will open and you will feel like you've had a ton weight lifted. Any physical pain, any useless, unnecessary physical pain and spiritual pain that's been holding you back will be gone. And the harder you try and remember what it felt like, the further away it goes. And on 10, that feeling of well-being is going to grow stronger day by day. as your unconscious mind makes those changes that will allow you to be well. 1, being absolutely wonderful. 2, to create the health, the body, the happiness you want. 3, feeling freedom from every useless, unnecessary pain, physical, emotional, and spiritual. 4, feel the force of that healing power flooding through your body. 5, feeling incredibly alive. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely wonderful. 9, 10. Thanks for the suggestion, Caroline. And accept whatever happens. There are no promises here. But what if? What if? Oh, look, it's great to see you all. And thanks for joining me. So any suggestions for next week, let me know. And I'll do my utmost to make that happen for you. Have a beautiful weekend, wherever you are.
Thank you, Freddie.
Thank you, Freddie.
Thank you, Freddie.
My pleasure.
Thank you very
Fantastic.
much.
Thank you.
Freddie, bye
Thank
everyone.
you.
Enjoy the
Bye,
weekend.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, you too.
Bye,
Have a good
everybody.
weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.